Hello everybody and welcome back to another MTG Bulk Mythic YouTube video. I'm about to share with you guys something I'm really excited about. This package finally came. It's taken every ounce of willpower that I've had to not crack this box open already so that I can share it with you guys. And what I'm talking about is the Secret Lair Scretversary Super Drop. I got the no nonsense, no foils bundle and an additional foil box of rocks, and it was a long time coming. It's finally here, and I'm really excited about it. So let's just get right to it. So this is the Secret Lair that was offered right before the holidays. I really want to say, because it was the 1-year anniversary of the Secret Lairs. They had quite a few individual drops within it, and then there were a couple different bundles, actually 3 that you could get. The no foils, no nonsense is what I got. The other one was all the foils, and then there was a combination of the 2 of those. It was basically everything all at once. But let's take a look inside here. Make sure. I'll go ahead and pull out this shipping invoice, so that doesn't have to flash up on the screen. But crack this box open and let's look at all of these goodies. All right, so first things first, we got Party Hard, Shred Harder. We'll probably save that one for last. We've got a box of rocks. We've got the Artist Series Seb McKinnon. Our foil edition box of rocks. And then probably one of the big selling points of this Secret Lair is Happy Little Gathering. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'll kind of go into these. The foil box of rocks is in addition to the other 4. So these 4 were the 1 super drop bundle. And then I added this in there because I wanted another box of rocks. But why don't we start out with Happy Little Gathering? All right, I think it's a good place to start. Pretty chill, and then we'll amp up and we'll ramp up to the Party Hard, Shred Harder. So we're going to start on the more relaxed end of the spectrum, and Happy Little Gathering is a box of basic lands, and these basic lands have art that came from the collection of paintings that Bob Ross did on his little home painting show for PBS. So we'll go ahead and open these guys up and see what we have. So pull this out here. And of course, we'll go ahead and grab the secret of the Secret Lair out of the bottom there. Set these to the side. These are actually really sturdy boxes. I mean, if you want to store cards in them afterwards, that's pretty cool. But I went with the non-foil version just because the foils curl and all that kind of stuff. For a lot of things, I wanted the non-foils, and the non-foil bundle had the Party Hard, Shred Harder, where the foil bundle did not. And in its place, it had the Hope You Like Squirrels, because that one only came in foil. But let's go ahead and open up these basic lands and check this out. I've already seen these arts because obviously they were in the previews, and I had the codes for MTG Arena. But let's take a look at them right now. Let's push these. Actually, we'll pull these down so we have the good light right here. So here's the planes, the first planes here. And you can look at these cards and see, and almost hear Bob Ross as he's painting them. Hey, here's put a happy little tree over here. And maybe there's a fence. Maybe there's a little fence there around that pond. Who knows? Who put it up? It's been there for so long, it might even be falling down, not even complete, right? Or here we go, building up a wave. I've seen this episode, streamed some of it. Actually, both of these islands paintings, I actually watched the episodes where he painted these. Are pretty awesome. This one was really cool. Started out on almost a black canvas, and then he put the white and the light on top of it, and then built the wave up, which was pretty awesome. And these swamps are super eerie, especially this one here. Like the colors of the yellow and the orange and the purple. The fact that he had maybe like 8 or 9 different colors on his palette, but he always used the same ones every episode, and he could, with the same combination of basic colors, make all these different paintings, right? All these different colors and hues and stuff. Super talented, super talented. And these have actually become like my default basic lands on Arena because I was able to get the arts for them. 5, one of each, were released by Wizards to the public when the secret drop was available, and then the other 5 came on a code when you ordered the super drop. So I was able to get the collection of all 10. And then let's see what the secret of the secret layer is here. Pop this guy open carefully. Don't want to mess these up. They're one-ofs, right? And you can't order them anymore. But look at that, an evolving wilds. So got the mountain in the background, the forest here, a little bit of swampy feel along the edge. Here's your island, and then the beach coming this way, I guess would be the plains, or maybe the plains of these foothills back here in the clouds. But evolving wilds, classic little fetch, printed everywhere, super inexpensive, super easy to get your hands on. But you know, if you're playing a format where it's legal, a lot of Commander players on a budget can use that too. So those are pretty awesome. To tell you the truth, what I'm probably going to do is cut out a mat board and mount these inside of it and just hang it up on the wall. You know, that way I can at least say I have 11 Bob Ross paintings hanging in my house. You know what I mean? Not too many people could say that. I was reading an article even before this secret layer was announced. The average like Bob Ross painting sells for about $3,000 a piece for these original paintings. So that's pretty awesome. And of course, there's stacks and stacks of them that his estate owns. That you know, they release a handful here and there, but they really haven't been selling a lot of them. So let's see what's next. Let's go ahead and take a look at Seb McKinnon. Let's see what he's done here. So this is an entire set of cards. According to Wizards of the Coast, they approached the artist, say, hey, we want to do a secret layer, secret drop for you so that you can showcase some of your own unique pieces in your own way. And they actually let the artist select, or at least put out like, hey, this is a list of cards I would like to do, and then Wizards approves the ones that they will be like, okay, these are the ones that are going in your drop. So they get to choose the card before they start building the art for it or creating the art for it. So these artist series secret layers are 100% the artist's collection. So we'll go ahead and pull all this stuff out. Moving on, slide this out of the way, and of course the first card you see here is that full art swamp. So the best way to open these is go ahead and undo this little hitch in the back, by the way, and then this whole case comes off. Then you're not trying to bend or anything these cards. So he's got the full art swamp there with the knight, very Throne of Eldraine style, which he did do a lot of cards for Throne of Eldraine, but there's that knight at the base of the tree walking through the lilies there. And these, you know, purportedly tell a story. So if you pay attention to the art, they all have to do with this knight, right? Here's Sower of Temptation. One of the reasons I was really excited to invest in this specific collection of cards is to go into my Send Triplets Commander deck, and you'll see how the vast majority of them really actually will work in there. Sower of Temptation, you know, Damnation. So this is kind of a story of this knight that's seeking out this fairy, and then Enchanted Evening, seeking out this fairy in the swamps. And then once he finds her and gets what he wants out of her, obviously the cost of that of his quest, for lack of better terms, is that Damnation. So that's a pretty striking collection of cards there. Art's amazing. You know, Seb McKinnon very quickly over the last 2 years or so became one of the marquee artists for Magic the Gathering. Always excited to see his artwork. Definitely going to put these cards to good use in Commander decks. And let's go ahead and see what the secret of this secret layer is. Pop this open. And we've got a second copy of that swamp because, you know, you always need more basic lands, right? So these swamps, I haven't checked the secondary market price on them, but I imagine that the only way to get them is through the secret lair, and they're a pretty awesome piece of art. And if you look at them, the art is just ever so different. So you see this tree, it almost, has a little bit more moss growing on it and things like that. And he isn't quite past it, but here he's turned to look back at it. And as he does, the light shines on it and it looks almost completely bare. Like the moss and everything is gone. You can still see the basic shape of the tree is there. And that's a very interesting. And you can look at his helmet. He's turning to look at the tree in this moment. So that's actually a pretty interesting detail between the two swamps. They are actually different. So that's really neat. Really, really neat there. So let's take a look at the box of rocks, right? Because everybody's... First, we'll take a look at the non-foil one. And always, this one's a really unique one because these are mana rocks, right? So these are classic Commander staples, artifacts and that produce mana and the like. But the artist collection that they went out into a whole bunch of other gaming culture, pop culture kinds of things. So the style on these cards is completely different than what you would think of classic Magic art. And we'll go ahead and take a look here so you can see what I'm talking about. Get this packaging out of the way. If you hear things dropping to the floor, it's literally because I am just tossing them onto the floor. I'll clean this stuff up after the video. So get this stuff out of the packaging here, and we'll look at what we've got for the non-foil versions. So first, the main package here. Go ahead and get into it. Carefully, don't want to, again, mess these up. So I do have a number of Commander decks. One of these sets, probably the foil set, is immediately going to go and replace their like cards in my 5-color, my Slivers Overlord deck that's in a previous video. I'm not too worried about the curling that people complain about in that deck because there's just a lot of foils already in that deck, so it's not that big of a deal. It's not going to really affect a whole lot, I don't think. But here's the Arcane Signet, one of the more recent additions to the Commander staples, reprinted every Commander deck since it was created, but it's just your basic, 2 mana, tap to add a mana of any color in your Commander's identity, mana rock, right? The Signets, the original Signets from Ravnica were super popular because that 2-drop getting you to 4 mana on turn 3, or if you're able to play your Soul Ring, you're looking at 5 mana on turn 3, a really big deal there. Chromatic Lantern, also super important in those 3, 4, and 5 color decks to add, because it turns all of your lands into 5 color lands. So one of these is going to go into that Send Triplets deck, so I can actually create mana of the colors of my opponent's hands while I'm casting cards out of them. And it itself will create mana. Here's Commander Sphere, which is a 3 mana, essentially a 3 mana version of Commander Signet, but it also has the activated ability of sacrificing it to draw a card. So once you have enough lands in play, once you have your colors, you don't need to fix or ramp anymore. You can get some late game card draw there out of it. Darksteel Ingot, mana fixing that can't go away, indestructible, really important. And then a Gilded Lotus. So this art, like if you look at it really closely, I've spent a lot of time kind of examining this art, and it's really, really bizarre and kind of entrancing at the same time, because you see this little girl here, and of course here's this Gilded Lotus that is coming up from this pond that she's in, and then you realize the wings aren't on her shoulders, right? The wings are actually coming from under her hair, and some of the strands of her hair actually growing into the feathers of the wings. So very, very interesting. Like the longer you look at it, the stranger it becomes, but it's amazing, beautiful art at the same time. So that's really cool. And then of course the secret in the secret layer is a Kasmina Enigmatic Mentor. So I really don't know how many of these stained glass planeswalkers they've printed from War of the Spark. if they had a plan to use them as like showcase or masterpiece style cards, and then decided they weren't going to do the masterpiece thing again, and then they needed somewhere to put them. But it's been a year, and they're still tucking them into these secret layers. Now, I don't see what Kasmina has to do with Boxer Rocks, because she actually taxes your opponent's mana instead of giving you more and better mana. So it just feels like, hey, let's continue to put these out there so we can at least use up this cardboard that we've already created. Little disappointing there, not nearly as awesome as the secret of the other sets so far. But let's go ahead. Actually, we'll get Kasmina out of the way just for a second. I'm going to move these up. I started picking them up. I'm going to move them up because I forgot we actually have the foil box here. So let's open that guy up and take a look at the difference here between the foils, because as you can see, the colors and the styles of this art are pretty interesting, but I can only imagine what the foil process is going to do to the same dynamics. So let's go ahead and open this one up and take a look. Maybe we'll get a different secret in this secret layer. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way first. That way we're not so disappointed at the end, huh? And Samut. We got the Samut stained glass planeswalker. So there we go. All right. Get it out of the packaging just because it has that sticky glue spot on it to keep it from shifting in the box. And out of the way. All right, now on to the rocks in the box. Here we go. So I will real quick kind of demonstrate what we mean about the curling. So if you can see here on the camera, they've already, just out of the box, they have a little bit slight bend to them. And we can actually, we'll put a couple of the normal ones on either side to see you have the gaps there between them. But like I said, if you're running a lot of foils, especially in a commander deck, it's not that big of a deal. Usually the big complaint about the curling foils is that it can mark the cards in a deck, even in a sleeve or whatever, and then they become not legal for tournament play. But if you get them into a sleeve and you play them in a deck long enough, keeping them in a deck box, they do tend to flatten out a little bit. And if you're one of those players that has mostly foils anyway, it doesn't make a difference because all your cards are slightly curved to different degrees. But we'll look here first at this Gilded Lotus. Like, with the foiling on there, you can see like there's little bubbles that are floating up from the pond that kind of shimmer. The gold on the Gilded Lotus petals really comes out. It's almost like a mirror-like finish, which I think is pretty awesome. And then some of the more colorful ones here, like Dark Steel Ingot. I'm not, I've seen this style of art before. I cannot for the life of me recall what it's from. If you're familiar with what game or comic or whatever this style is from, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Help me figure out where each of these are kind of originating from. But you can see here the beam coming off the ingot ring is, it looks like a beam of light with that foil on there, which is really cool and all that. So that's the two sets of rocks that I've got, like chromatic liner. There's just a lot going on there. And you got every color under the sun with that guy. But really excited to get those into the commander decks. And then as I build out, once I get my Send triplet, like the basic list done and built out, I'll share that on the channel. I just finished kind of polishing up the deck list on my Sultai Hydras counter, +1/+1 counters, X mana cost theme deck, and then I'll probably do a deck tech on that one here pretty soon. But finally, last but not least, like the one that we've all been waiting for, Party Hard, Shred Harder. All right, we've got everything turned up full volume right now. Started out kind of chill. We ramped up into this, threw out some foils, and now it's time to go crazy because these, ladies and gentlemen, don't even look like Magic cards. If you if you want, you can actually go into Mark Rosewater's Drive to Work series, and he talks about what the parts of a Magic card are. Like, what are the physical parts of a Magic card? There's the back, there's the title, there's the casting cost, there's the type line, there's the art, there's the rules text box, etc. And then we're used to the normal, configuration of that card, right? Of what that is supposed to look like and where we're going to look for all those things. And the fact of the matter is, that's not what these cards look like at all. And so I will bet that this is Angrath. Seems like the most metal stained glass planeswalker. If we had to get a stained glass planeswalker, would be Angrath. Let's see. Yep, there he is. Angrath, the Minotaur pirate planeswalker, captain of chaos. And of course, because chaos is metal, and Kaldheim is metal, and this Secret Lair drop was all about metal. And by metal, I mean they literally made these cards look like heavy metal rock posters. But again, if you listen to that Drive to Work from Mark Rosewater, and you can take all the things he talks about, like these are the parts of a card, these are what are required to be on the card to call it a Magic card, and they're all here, right? They're in different places, right? Here's your title, here's your mana cost, right? Type lines right here, rules text is right here, and then of course the entire card is the art. And yes, they have a Magic back and everything else that makes them legal to play. So here's Anguished Unmaking from Return to Innistrad, the Oath of the Gatewatch, Eldritch Moon, and that block. This is the card where Sorin destroys his, the angel that's protecting Innistrad. And then we have Assassin's Trophy from Throne of Eldraine, Decimate, the Gruul, Destruction Sorcery, Dreadboard, which is a black-red, destroy target creature, planeswalker, sorcery speed, and then Thraxamundar. So, for a 7 mana legendary creature, this guy does a lot. I wouldn't necessarily run it as a commander, but if you've got a Grixis commander deck, playing this in the 99 isn't terrible, especially if you are using a lot of sacrifice effects, which Grixis really lends itself to. There are a lot of sacrifice, reanimation, graveyard shenanigans going on in Grixis. So this, while it could be your commander, but it'll take you a minute to get him into play from the command zone, isn't too bad to have in the 99, in my opinion. I might try it out if I can find the right deck for it. But this is the first of these art series. The next Secret Lair Super Drop, they've already kind of started spoiling it, and the art style on those look like they're more like folk music style of art. So we'll see what that turns out to be, but you can find those spoilers on the internet. There's, like I said, I think there's 1 or 2 cards that have already been spoiled, but there is our Party Hard Shred Harder. Here is our, I swapped out the Darksteel Ingots. All right, here's our Boxes of Roxes. And when it comes to buying these Secret Lairs, real quick, just to let you guys know, this product isn't for everybody. I have not bought every single Secret Lair. I've bought quite a few. I've bought a few of them, but I've not bought every single one. Usually for me, it's, do I plan on playing with these cards, and really do I like the art style? Because, if you've been paying attention to this whole video, I've been able to lay out, like, hey, this is where I can put this card. This is where I can put that one. All that kind of stuff. It's going to be hard to replace my foil Evolving Wilds in my Slivers deck for this one, because I didn't get the foil version of this one, but I might just do that. I don't know. But otherwise, I'll go with the foil Actually, no. I'm gonna frame it with the rest of these. I'm gonna frame all 11 of these pieces. I'll stick with the foil and the slivers deck. But I was really excited about this Secret Lair Super Drop. After seeing Toskar, the indestructible squirrel, legendary creature in the latest set here in Kaldheim, I was a little bit disappointed I didn't invest in the Hope You Like Squirrels, because I think that would be kind of neat to just have a mono green squirrels commander deck. But really evaluate these when they come out. Don't fall for the FUMO, right? The fear of missing out. These cards aren't for everyone, except for the Walking Dead Secret Lair. They're all reprints, so if you need a copy and you don't necessarily need this copy of the card, do your research, see what's out there on the secondary market, and buy the single that you can afford. But if this kind of stuff really piques your interest, go ahead and invest in it. I'm not a big fan of the buy it and stick it in the closet and hope it goes up, because one, Magic cards are meant to be played, so you might as well sleeve them up and shuffle them and play some games. And two, the trend, now we've had a year of these products, is that they don't hold value. Like there's nobody going, a year after the Secret Lair going, man, I wish I would have jumped in on that and I really need that card, and then buying a sealed Secret Lair from somebody. They're not showing that in their values. So if you're going to play the cards, or if you really enjoy the style or whatever it is, go ahead and jump on it. But don't feel the pressure. Don't jump on it if you don't need it, if you're not going to use it, and definitely don't just buy it to hope that it becomes, your retirement plan, because it's not going to work out. Man, I still can't get over that Gilded Lotus. Look at that. So anyway, I'm going to stop babbling. If you like what we're doing, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button down there. Subscribe to the channel. Find us on Facebook. Leave comments. The whole point of this is to have conversations. I will respond to as many of the comments as I possibly can. And don't be afraid to share this with a friend, because we need to let everybody out there know that we are sharing our hobby together.